All right, traders, and watch this video for Wednesday, June 17th, showing you the SPY here. Big gap up. We sold off, but then I guess a fairly strong close. Um, Pretty whippy day in the markets. I got extra after hours on it. Let me get those off real quick. And for those of you that didn't make it to chat, a couple highlights to show you. Roku, Kevin P, if he's not on your hot script list, he should be. Called it long right here, 115.25, right on that kind of long flag breakout. Beautiful call. Went to 120.68. It's actually over 121 in after hours right now. I called Weight Watchers, WW, right there. What do we got? Red to green, and a whole number inflection point, and the high of day above as another catalyst. So that was almost a perfect setup on a morning gap play through 29. Really nice move up to 30.66 on only about 20 cents risk. That was one of my better trades of the day. And then CLIR, I'm going to give a tip of the cap to Joe P. Gave the heads up on CLIR right there before it got there, by the way. Before it got to the twos buy zone. Called it, when it looked about like this. Got into the twos buy zone and ripped from there. Beautiful call. So back to the daily of CLIR. It closed well off its highs, but I am going to have this one on watch tomorrow. Let's go to the rest of the watch list for tomorrow. I don't love this list, but we'll see, right? NK, it's just flirting with kind of breaking through that 850 area. And today just kind of had a quiet day inside of yesterday's range. So that lands on the watch list. Mark, M-A-R-K. Had some good news today and a pretty strong move. I mean, actually a very strong move. If you look at this, it went from 216 to 295. That's actually a massive move, massive volume, but closing well off its high. So we're going to see if it gives us some kind of continuation day setup tomorrow. Crex, and by the way, Mark and Crex are both thermal imaging plays, trying to get businesses back open, right? Measuring people's temperatures and so on with, I guess, special cameras. Anyway, Crex had a really nice afternoon move. Closing at 316 though, it's certainly interesting going into tomorrow. Nice little volume spike. And when I go to intraday, you'll see it better, right? Because it doesn't look like that much, but look at that move it had off the news. From, I don't know, 270 to almost 370. That's pretty impressive before swinging back down a lot. And after hours right now, it's trading at 360. I actually had a really nice trade in that one thanks to the heads up. Several people posted a heads up on that. I think Sahil might have been the first one and a couple others. And really, really nice move there. And what was really pretty good sounding news. So definitely want to watch that one tomorrow. EVC. All right, so I think there's a couple stocks on this list, maybe three, that are sympathies to UONE. So let me start with that. I don't even have UONE on the watch list. But it did this just goofy squeeze from, I don't know, $7 to almost 40. That actually happened, by the way. The sad thing about it is with the goofy halt rule, this thing halted like 50 times today. I never took one trade in it, which I'm embarrassed to say because that's a massive move. But so then they started looking for sympathy plays, and EVC was one of them. And it had a pretty decent volume day, right? Closing right at $2. So I don't know. I'll probably have UONE on a chart tomorrow to see if any of these sympathy plays make sense for, to even trade tomorrow, but we'll watch them. And here's another one, SALM, kind of the same thing. Just people started looking for the low price sympathy ones, and this one had a big pop too before giving a lot of it back. But it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. And I think I've got one more, even though it's not in order. I'm going to go to it one, and this is CLRO. And this is one of the more interesting ones to me, actually. Pan out a little bit there. So you had this pop back here to 320, and then today topped out at 315, I believe. So certainly interesting. You can kind of figure a breakout over that area, closing at 289. Maybe we get a whole number inflection point 3 break or something. We won't know unless we put it on a chart. So it's on a chart, right? And let's see where I left off. APT is a little bit interesting to me. You're hearing a lot about resurgence. Beijing is getting hit with COVID-19 now, and you're hearing about resurgence, maybe more higher hospital. It's a hard word for me to say. Hospitalizations in different areas around the country, but I've also heard other stats where it's lower in other areas. So I don't know, but APT is certainly interesting here over 1350-ish. It's kind of had 3 or 4 days where it's topped out right around there. So if it can break out through there, it might get going. It's a mask play, so we'll see if those have any mustard behind them, right? DSS, this one's kind of obscure, but I like the chart. You had a big pop here, then a lower high, then another lower high, but it's kind of coiling. And the most recent high, I would say, is right here at 1044. Today topped out at 1038. So over this kind of, I don't know, week and a half pattern, it could start to really head up. The only reason this is on watch, or I should say the only reason I noticed this is because of this midday volume spike. And I'm not sure what caused it, but since I'm a day trader, I happen to be in front of my screens, I saw the volume spike. So that's what made me find the daily chart, right? And so that's what landed it on the watch list. All right, DSS. WAFU. You want to talk about botching an opportunity. I'm going to go to 5-minute candles and should talk about today. So I heard the news squawk today, and I'm going to show you what WAFU looked like. Right there. It looked like this when I heard the news squawk say Beijing is closing schools. And I said over the mic in chat, for those of you that were there, I said it. I said, oh, these Chinese education plays might get going again, but their daily charts are horrendous because they all had a huge spike the other day and gave it all back, right? And I've been trading long enough to know this could be a pretty nice trade, getting in this before the high of day, and look where it's trading when the news came out. And I literally just dismissed it. I said that over the mic and didn't even really look at WAFU, and then, ready for it? Wait for it. It does that without me. So that's one of those that I'm literally making a video sort of telling you guys what an idiot I am. I had the thesis, and then I never even brought up the chart, right? I just went about my business, that's just like walking past money on the sidewalk and not picking it up. So it's pretty dumb on my part. But anyway, I am going to put it on watch. Now, the reason it wasn't that interesting, again, look at the volume on this day. I mean, just massive. I don't know, what, 65 million on this day, if I have that right? And everybody from this day is underwater, and everybody from the next day is underwater, and everybody from the next day is underwater. So I just did, with all the what you call bag holder pressure, right? I just didn't expect this to run as much as it did. But it actually held up better than I thought it would. So it's going to go on watch tomorrow. Now, the unselfish part of me is putting PHUN on watch, because it did this big pop, and then it kind of did nothing, but then a nice pop today with a strong close. And I say unselfish part of me because I trade through TradeStation, and I cannot trade this one. For whatever reason, you click on it and it says order rejected. You all have heard that over the mic, right? So I can't trade PHUN, but still the chart is interesting enough. I think it deserves to be on watch. ANVS is my last one here. And this is kind of interesting just because of the big volume spike. Sound like they had decent news this morning. Closing well off its highs, but maybe through 6 tomorrow, something along those lines. And that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Teamwork's been fantastic. I ended up having a really good day. I did something today I hadn't done in a long time, which is I gave back, I want to say 40% of my morning gains, goofing around in the afternoon, and it always puts me in a lousy mood. And then I was able to catch this CREX and put me right back at highs for the day almost. I mean, really ended up nicely for the day. So, there's a lesson there. Don't quit till the closing bell, and a trade can come out of nowhere. So it does make sense to stay in front of your screens. I'm not always great at that, but usually I'm pretty content to metaphorically walk away. In other words, not trade anymore when I've had a really nice morning, because I would rather have a losing day, meaning the opening bell rings and I take a trade and I lose, and a couple more trades and I lose more, whatever. I would rather have a red day like that, never even being green, than having a very nice morning and giving a big chunk of it back, even if I'm green for the day. I swear I'd rather be red on the day. I hate giving back a good chunk of my gains. Everybody's wired differently, but that is the strange way that I'm wired. All right, anyway, I'm done babbling. We'll see you guys in chat tomorrow.